Alright, today we are going to be making this icosphere man. Called it the crazy IcoMan. We colored him different colors and we made a texture for him over here on the side. I'm going to show you how to make this one step at a time, and let's get started. Alright, the first thing you're going to want to do is open up your Blender project. And then you're going to want to create a new project. So I'm going to click General here. And then the first thing I like to do is save my project. So I'll go to File, Save As. And I'm going to save this project in a certain spot. You can save it in the Dropbox if you're one of my kids. That's what I'm doing this one for my kids. So I'm going to do, I'll call this Crazy IcoMan 2, and I'll hit save. Alright, we got lots of buttons here to work with. I'm going to grab all three of these. You can see that when you grab them with that little highlight box, it grabs all of them. Over here on the side, you can grab these guys over here. Hopefully on the screen you can see the shortcut buttons that I'm using. I'm using Shift to grab multiple things. I'm going to delete all those. Then I'm going to do Shift A to create an icosphere. In the bottom left, it gives you this little box that tells you about the item. As soon as you create it, you can change the size right here from right off the bat, or you can add more or less detail to the object that you added in. But once you decide your level of detail and you click, that box will go away and you'll no longer be able to use it. On the right side of your keyboard, you can choose different angles to look at the object that you're working on. That's these buttons right here on the numpad. I'm going to go to a side view and we're going to start working on this guy. Right now this is object mode. Object mode is to just look at things, scale them, add new objects into the world. What we want to go to is edit mode. That's going to allow us to make certain changes to our character. The first thing I want to do is I'm gonna turn on this X-ray mode. It's up in the top right. The shortcut for that is Alt and Z. If you hover over anything, you can pretty much usually tell what the shortcut is for that button. So I'm going to highlight about half of these. I'm going to press the S key for scale. I'm going to scale this on the Z, so then I'm going to press Z, and then I'm going to press 0. And that's going to put all of those vertices on the same plane of the Z axis, all at 0. So now the bottom of my little character here, it's flat. Okay, now I can look around by using these buttons. I can push 7 to look from the top, and if I press Control 7, I can look at the bottom. I'm going to turn off my X-ray mode, and I want to get to where I can have a pair of legs that I can pull down for him. And as I'm looking under the bottom, I want to find a couple of triangles that are together. So maybe I can rotate Z, maybe get a couple next to each other that are side by side so that I can pull some legs down. So I'm going to do like that. I don't know if what I did to move that was I pressed R and then Z, and I'm kind of just repositioning my icosphere right there. And if I look under the bottom, I'm going to go to face mode. 1, 2, and 3 changes the modes that you're on. If you press 1, you're on vertice mode. 2 is edge mode, where you can grab the edges. 3 is on face mode, where you can grab the different faces. Alright, so I'm on face mode, and I want to pull down a couple of legs for him. I'm going to use probably these two triangles. So I'll grab that triangle, and I'll press G, and then Z, and then 1. Uh-oh, that's not what I wanted. Let's try again. G. Oh, you know what it is? It's E. E, Z, and then 1. Let's see if I can try again. Oh, went the wrong way. Let's try again. We can do it. I know I can do it. E, Z, -1. There we go. -1. Because it's going downwards. That's why. And it looked like I didn't need to actually press Z. Let's try this one. And these 2 feet might be too close together. E, -1. Nope, it wanted just 1. 1? Nope, didn't want to do that. E, 1? What? -1? How could 1 and -1 be the same? Control Z takes you backwards. The problem I'm having is I want to make sure they're the same distance and length apart, like the feet. So I'm going to go back. E, 1. Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't want to do it. So anyway, there's the feet. I pulled those two down. I don't know if I like them being right next to each other. Maybe I'll use these two instead. This is a good time to use the undo button. Control Z, 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 Z. And now we're all the way back. Alright, let's try this one. E, 1. Okay, let's do this one. E, 1. Okay, now we got a pair of legs for our guy here. Alright, alright. We're going slow, but we can do it. I'm going to look from control, like if you do 1 and then control 1. Control 1 is like flipping around behind it. I want to give him a pair of his own feet. So I'll click on this one. I'll press E, Z, and I'll do 0.1 negative. There we go. And then I'll do this one. E, -0.1. Why does it sometimes want to do not negative? Let's do 0.1 negative. I don't know. That thing's driving me crazy. I hope you're watching what I'm doing. I'm trying not to go too fast here. Alright, so I just pulled down a couple of little toes right there. I want to do a couple loop cuts. So I'm going to hover my mouse over this and do Control R. And then you can scroll wheel to add more cuts. Then I'll hover my mouse over this one, Control 1, a couple of cuts, 4 cuts. So I got 4 and 4 on those. I'm going to press 1. That'll take me back to vertice mode. And I'll grab this one, and I'll grab this one. And we're going to use proportional editing on this one. So up here at the top, watch what happens. I'm going to do G and then Y. So if you do G and Y, it's moving that little part out. But I also want the top ones above it to move with it one at a time. So what I'll do is I'll click this proportional editing. That's also the shortcut is O. So I'm going to do G and then Y. And now, see how it's moving both sections with it? So you can kind of like make a little little deal there like that. Now it's also kind of shaping his legs too. I don't want to shape the legs, so I'm going to show you a secret to not do that. So if you zoom out, let's turn back on our X-ray mode, and I'm going to highlight the whole top of him. And if you press H, it will hide it. Now those vertices, they're not gone, they're just hidden. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'll grab that bottom vertice there and this one. To grab both of them, you left click one and then hold shift and left click the other. G and then Y. Let's try again. G, Y. Okay, there we go. Now I can like pull it out and he can have some little feet that have like a little curve to them. Alright, I'm going to turn off my X-ray mode. Alt-Z is the shortcut, or you can click. Or you can, wow, oh, that's also my NVIDIA control panel. Okay, anyway, I can click that right there. All right, now Alt-H will unhide those other vertices, and you'll see that since those were hidden right there, they did not move with whenever I moved that bottom like they were last time. Okay, we got a pair of feet to work with. Now he needs some hands. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to grab this side, up here in the top. See how I'm grabbing just single vertices? I'm going to go ahead and grab a face like that, and I'll do E, and I'll do 1. There we go. So the reason why I'm pushing the numbers is because I want them to be the same size. I don't want to have one arm shorter or longer than the other one. So E1. So I know both of those are the same size. Alright, I'm going to do some hands too. So I'll click on this one and I'll do E.1. That's the little decimal, the period. So I'll do E.1. There you go. So now I've got 2. Now I'm going to go to the end of this guy and I'm going to do some loop cuts again. So Control R, Control R, click, and I can, oops, you know what? If you ever make a mistake, you can always do Control Z to go back. So I'll do it again. Control R, and then I'll roll my mouse wheel. I got 4 cuts right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your guy doesn't have to be perfect. We're just trying to work through this. So if yours looks a little different than mine, that's fine. All right, so I did 4 cuts on that one. So I did 4 over here, 4 over here. I'm going to do the same thing again. So I'll do Control 1 to look at the front again. I'll turn on my X-ray mode. I'll grab his main body, and I'll press H to hide. It looks like it left a couple of them, so I'm going to hide those. Now I'm only messing with his 2 hands, and I just want to move it just to give a little bit of curve. So I'll push 1 to get back to these vertices. I'll grab both these 2 edges here. I'm still on proportional editing. That's that 0 right there. And I'll push G, Z, and I'll pull it up a little bit. Maybe I want it bigger. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. No, smaller. Something like that. And maybe maybe instead of doing that, maybe I should grab like all 3 of them on both sides. You can do them one at a time if you would like. Alright, so if I do G and then Z, maybe I'll do smaller. I just want to give it a little bit of movement so they're not just straight. So I just did GZ. Okay, now I'm going to check what I did. So Alt-H, I can turn Alt-H undoes that. Then I can turn off my X-ray and I can look at it. Maybe I want a little bit more movement. So to go back, I can do Control Z, Z, Z. Then I can do GZ. GZ. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Alt-H. Alright, so he's just got a little bit of fingers there. He doesn't have to have that. I just kind of wanted to add a little bit, try to teach you how to use that proportional editing thing. Okay, now we need to add eyes and a mouth. Okay, so I'm going to do... Let's grab these 3 vertices right here. Press the I key. That's for inset. We're going to... see, you could like just pull it in, and that may not necessarily be the same. So watch what I do here. I'm going to grab these 3. I'll do I, and I'll pull it in. So my 2 eyes might be 2 different sizes. So to keep that from happening, if you want them to be the same, I'm going to go back in time, Control Z. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll grab these 3. I'll press I, and then I'll say 0.1. And if I don't like that, it's too small, I could do 0.05. Alright, now I can come over here to this other one and do I 0.05. And I know both of those triangles are the same size. Alright, so I'm going to grab the face. So I'll push 3 to go to face mode. I'll say E. And I'll do 0.1. Too much. So let's do 0.01. Not enough. 0.03. If you'll notice up here at the top, that's where the numbers are if you want to read them to see how high you're putting it up. 0.03 looks good to me. Alright, so I'll grab this middle face and I'll do E 0.03 so it matches the other side. Alright, then I'm going to do another inset again, so I'll do I. Let's do 0.5. Ooh, that was not good. Let's do negative 0.5. Still not good. Let's see what we can do here. Let's do I. Okay, so let's do I 0.05. Yes, that's it. I 0.05. Then I'll come over here. I 0.05. Alright, now we're going to do one more extrude. So I'll click on this one. E. I'm going to turn off proportional editing to E.1. Not enough. Okay, sorry. Had a problem in the kitchen. Alright, so E, let's do 0.02. Yes, that's fine. Right here, E 0.02. Alright, so we got a couple of outcroppings for eyes right there. You could make it smaller if you want, bigger if you want. Let's do his face or his mouth. I'll click down here by his mouth. I'll do an inset. So let's do 0.5. Oh, that looks horrible. Let's do 1. Oh, what in the world? 0.05. Okay, much better. 0.05, and then I'll do E 0.1 negative. Yes. That negative symbol is right above the plus sign and that little number pad. Alright, so now I'm going to do one more. I will do I 0.5. Nope. I 0.5. Yep. 0.05 seems to be a good number. Alright. So our crazy IcoMan is coming together. Alright, now we're going to draw lines for us to know where to color for our character here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Edge Mode, and we're basically just marking off different spots on our character that we want to show up to color. So I'm going to click the edges around his eye. To click multiple ones, you can hold Shift. So I clicked the bottom one, there, and there. And then I'm going to press U, and I'm going to press Mark Seam. It's going to put a little red line around the base there. And I'm going to put one here. U and Mark Seam. Then I'm going to do it again for this pop-out eye right here. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to say U, Mark Seam. Then I'm going to come over here to this one. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to press U and Mark Seam. So now I've separated, basically like you know how you color on paper and you color in the lines. Well, I'm setting up lines for me to color in right there. Alright, so now I'm going to go over here to this one, and I'm going to make ones for his lips. So 1, 2, 3, that's going to be ones for his lips. I'll push U and Mark Seam. And then I want one for the inside of his mouth. So I'll grab the inside of these 3, and I'll say U and Mark Seam. So right here on this inside part, that'll probably be his lips, and then the inside will be his mouth there. Now I want him to have different colors for his shoes. So I'll grab the 3 for his shoes. I'll press U and Mark Seam. Then I'll come over here, I'll click this one, and this one, and this one. U, Mark Seam. And now I want his legs to have a different one too. So I'll click the ones right around the top of his legs. And I'll say U and Mark Seam. And I'll do this one here. And I'll grab that one. So I'll do U and Mark Seam. Alright, same thing with his arms and his hands. So I'll grab that one, that one, that one. You could also grab more than just that set at a time. So I could also grab this one, and this one. And if I'm feeling extra rambunctious, I could come over here and grab these 3. Make sure that you're grabbing one at a time. I'm holding Shift every time I click a new one. All right, so I got all, 12 of those. U and Mark Seam right there. Okay, so now I've got all the edges for my character marked off. So now we can make it where we can color him now. Okay, at the top you have layout. This is where we've been working most of the time here. But we're going to move over to UV editing. What this is basically unfolding or unwrapping your character like a piece of paper or origami kind of thing, so you can set it up so you can color him and color those little spots. So I'm going to press A. That's going to grab everything that you just did. I'm going to press U, and then I'm going to say unwrap conformal. You can use these other ones too, but I like unwrap conformal, I think. Maybe it's a different one. Let's do minimal stretch. Yeah, okay, minimal stretch. U and then minimal stretch. The other ones look like that. Oh, that one's not bad either. We could even use that one. That was unwrap angle based. You can also use this islands one here, or not the islands one, the smart unwrap. I don't really like that one. I'm gonna do the, let's see, angle. Okay, I kind of actually like the angle based one. Let's use that one. Okay, so over here, this is basically our character unwrapped and laid flat on this square. Now we need a piece of paper to color him with, and then we'll wrap the paper back around his body and it'll give him colors. Up at the top, you're going to go from UV editing to texture paint. And you'll notice your guy right now, he's just purple and he's got no color. And your painting or your coloring area it doesn't have a piece of paper to color on. So let's add those two. At the top left, click on new, and then let's give it a name. Crazy Ico Texture 00. I'm going to change the color here. I'll change it to white. And then the numbers, I'm going to do 128 and 128. We could probably go lower than that. We're just going to stay with that right now. I'm going to hit new. Now it's got a piece of paper to color on. This paper is currently not saved. I know we just made it, but we never saved it. In the left-hand side under image right here, click on image and say save as. And then pick a spot to save it. I'm saving it in the same spot that I did with the project. These are the other two that I did for my character right here. And I'm going to change it from, I'll put it in there and you'll see it says PNG, Crazy Ico Texture, and I'll just hit save. Alright, this is now saved. Our character is still purple. He's not wrapped with that paper, so we need to wrap the paper around him. Over here on the right hand side, if you're selected on your guy, you can click on this little ball. It says material, and you need to make a material for him. So I'll hit new, and then I'll say Ico skin or something. It's basically the skin that he has. He's going to wear it. He's going to wear this paper like a skin. Okay, under base color, there's a little yellow circle here. Click on the yellow circle, and then select image texture. Then it's going to give you some new things to choose from. You want to do open, and you want to find your image texture. You don't have one yet, so make sure you click your blank one. I could click my other one, but I'm going to click this blank one. I'm going to click open image. And now he does have a texture, but you probably can't see it. In the top right, these are different views that show you your character. One of those views shows the actual paper. The one that you're normally selected on just gives everything a gray color so you can see what's happening. The first one does like a wire frame so you can look through your character and see what he looks like. Alright, I'm going to click that third one. This is going to allow me to see the texture that's on him, that paper. And now I can come over here to the painting side, and I'm going to choose a color. You can do RGB, and then you can turn the colors up and down, or you can select on these different colors and find yourself a color that you like. You'll notice that I've got a big circle. If I click and draw, that's what it's going to draw, but I'm going to change the size of my brush, change it down to 20, and now when I draw, you can see it's starting to draw on my character. And why is it drawing on his arm? Why is this one drawing on his face? What is happening? Let me show you what's happening. I'll control Z, 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 Z. I'm going to go back to UV editing. And when you select these little pieces here, if I'm on UV editing, if I click on this little select face mode, and I hover over the top of one of these things, and I press the letter L, it'll grab everything that's under my mouse. Look what it grabbed. It grabbed only his body. So this big triangle right here is his body. I can resize it and make it smaller, and I'm going to put it over there. A little smaller. Then I'll hover over this one. I'll press L. That's his arm. I'm going to size it down a little bit. And I want to find his other arm, so I'm going to look and check these other ones. L. There's his other arm. I'm going to size it down, rotate it, and then I'm going to try to stack it on top of his other arm because I want his two arms to be the same. I want them to be the same color. So if I color right there, I want it to color both of his arms. Let's see what the next one is. This one is his hand. That's good. I'll leave that one there for now. Let's grab this other one, L. Oh, that's his mouth, specifically his lips. So I'll move them over here. What's this one? That's his other hand. Perfect. I can rotate that, scale it down a little bit, and I'll stack it on top of his other hand. The way I'm moving these is by using the G key, just like you do normally when you're moving objects and stuff. This next one, this is his leg. So I'll put his leg, let's say here, scale it down. And I'll find his other leg, and I'm going to stack them on top of each other so I don't have to color in multiple different spots. Then I'm going to grab this other one. That's the outside of his eye. So let's just do it right here. That's the inside of his mouth. Remember, this one was the lips. This one is the inside of his eye. So I'll put that one right there. This one is the inside of his other eye. So I'm going to stack it on top of that one. This one is the outside of the other eye. So look, if I grab both of those, that's the two eyes. The insides of the eyes, and then what do we have left? Probably the feet. Let's rotate that, and I want to put this foot near the other legs. So the other legs, there are right there. Okay, so right there we got a foot, we got a leg, we got mouth or eye, we got mouth. I'm gonna move this over a little bit. I'm gonna grab this. That's his hands. This is his arms, and then you got his body. Maybe I'll put the body in the middle. Okay, we have now moved all of the little texture zones, areas. Now let's color him. So let's go back to the texture paint. And now when I select a color, let's say I wanted his body to be blue, I can color the middle body part, and it will do nothing and make me look like a silly goose. What happened? Save? What? I don't understand. I am not sure what just happened. I'm trying to figure out what happened. Maybe it's not saving it? Oh, it looks like maybe I didn't save this. It looks like the color didn't get wrapped back around him. My base color doesn't look right anymore. Let me click on this. Base color. I want an image texture, and I want to open this crazy Ico. I don't know why this got changed. That's really sad. After I change it, and after you change it, maybe come up here and hit save. That'll probably save us the trouble for that happening. Okay, but you can see now that I have colored my crazy IcoMan's body blue. And if I want to choose another color, I could grab another color. And I could like paint his hands. Now they're green. There's also a way to get special colors. If you go to the internet and you search for, I'll show you how to do this right quick, like a hex color. The hex color are a bunch of different color codes that you can look up to show you different types of reds or whatever. Other people have found reds and common red colors. And they give it to you in the form of a hex code. That number written on there is useful. Here's a couple of them. I got some reds, I got some greens, and I got some blues that I searched up to find what colors I want. So let's say if I want this one, 0000FF. Okay, what am I going to do with that? If you come over here and you click on the color, and down at the bottom, the hex code, you could do 0000FF. And then press enter, and it's going to jump to this color blue that I found with the hex code right there. Then you can color with that other blue that maybe you like more. And you can find other colors online, or you can just select the colors that you want and color the different objects like that. So his shoes, I think I want his shoes to be black. I'm going to get a nice red for his lips. Oh, that's the inside of his mouth. That's fine. Let's do a pinkish color. Maybe I'm never really good at pink. That's why I have to use that one. That's why I have to use those hex codes. Other people are better at finding colors that match. So there we go. He's got like a pink. Now I can work on his hands and his legs. I'm going to make those both probably the same color. Maybe like a aqua-ish or something. So there's his arms. There's his feet. And Oh, his eyes. We forgot about his eyes. Let's do, I don't know. I'm just going to pick a color. Gray. That's not really gray, but that's not bad. And I could maybe, oh, here's a cool thing. If you want, like, let's say you forgot what color one of the other ones were, you can click on this. You can use this little eyedropper, and you can grab a color that you had before. So if I click on that color, it'll grab it, and I can paint like right there. So then the base of his eyes have the same color as his arms and his legs. Alright, that's about it for the video. What I want you to do is try to copy this guy just like I did. Give him a color and a texture. And make sure after you've... Oh, a big thing. After you do that, you have to click Image and Save. If you don't do that, take a look at this. Let me see if I can find this folder. Hold on, I gotta find this folder. This is really important. So if I go to this folder... and I go to Kids, and I go to Blender, and I go to Daddy Projects. Right here, large. See that color right there? Even though I've colored a whole bunch on this paper, it's not saving it. So make sure to save it. After you color, you click on Image, and you click on Save. Now it saves it, now it updates it, and your character has a new color. If you want to make two different guys with two different colors, what you could do is you could select another color. You could color this one. So now I have a different one. Maybe I want it a little darker than that. I want a darker green. Alright, so I got a different guy with a different color. If I do File or Image and I do Save As, then instead of saving over to the same name, I can change the name by one number. So now maybe Ico Texture 1, and I'll hit Save. Now I've got two different colors, one with blue and one with green. And if you want to swap the two colors on your character, you can go to the layout, click on the material, and instead of using texture 0, you can use texture 1. I might have to go find it. There we go, texture 1. Open. Now I got that color. Or I could do texture 0. Crazy Ico texture 0. Open. So there's the blue one. Alright, I can't wait to see your awesome Ico Crazy Mans. See you guys in the next video.